Good day, and greetings from the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, where skies are clear and stars shine bright. And welcome to We've Got Books. I'm Ann Green with Jim Yarbrough, and we heartily invite you to join us here at We've Got Books. And yes, we have many books waiting for you in a variety of genres. Definitely something for everyone. We've Got Books is guaranteed to be informative and fun. It is our pleasure to feature guest authors and their books, along with our books. We'll chat with each author and get to know the person and the novel. We promise to delight you with great Christian fiction. And now, I'm going to interview Jim Yarbrough about his novella-length book, You Can't Be Serious. So grab your coffee or tea, cola or ice water, and sit back and enjoy this exciting ride into the literary world. So Jim, you've been interviewed before on We've Got Books. You write in different genres. What genre is You Can't Be Serious?
Well, thank you, Anne. It's good to be interviewed again. My book, You Can't Be Serious, is a collection of 12 humor short stories. These are stories about a proper, buttoned-up Christian psychologist, Dr. Greg Chambers, and his fresh off the farm, straight-talking, tell-it-like-it-is Christian assistant, Carol Kramer. They are very different personalities.
Sounds like fun. And this is Christian fiction?
Oh, definitely Christian fiction, and definitely humor. My main characters, Greg and Carol, live in what I call an applied Christianity setting. That is, in my short stories, they are constantly confronted by craziness in a fallen world, and they must apply their faith to decide how to respond. But gee, that's life, isn't it? I have to confess that I get a wicked little pleasure in devising various weird situations for them to grapple with. Sometimes one or both do well, sometimes they both crash and burn, sometimes it's a draw, but I always try to tee up a moral issue, maybe disguise it a bit, throw in some confusion and some tension, and then see what decisions my characters make.
Ho, ho. Wicked pleasure, huh? Well, what motivated you to write stories like this?
Well, it's really a result from my observing people over the decades, at work, at church, at the store, during travel, friends and family, strangers, acquaintances, and applying some fictional events that bring a crisis to a head. And incidentally, one emotion that I'd most like to see from folks while they're reading my stories, and hopefully while they're laughing their socks off, is, isn't that so true?
I love it. So true. What are they like? Your 12 short stories in You Can't Be Serious.
Well, I tried to make each story creative and different to the best of my ability. Let me give a mini Reader's Digest summary of each short story in You Can't Be Serious. The first story is entitled Dude Done, and it's about a Christian young lady patient who sees boyfriends as her favorite do-it-yourself improvement projects. The second story, Just a Trim, takes place when a new, highly intelligent barber cuts Greg's hair and conducts an increasingly puzzling conversation with him. Something Borrowed concerns Greg's frustration with a patient who won't return a book he's borrowed from him. In the story The Message, Greg and his friend, Dr. Harry Newman, work with a long-time, well-known local pastor who, for the life of him, can't think of another topic for a sermon. Tight is about a pastor who comes to Greg and Carol to discuss a new and quite different church opportunity he's just started. In the story Routine Stop, Greg takes a long road trip and runs into repeated examples of very odd law enforcement personnel. In Something Blue, Greg bets Carol that men are just as imaginative and expressive as women are. In the story The Vacation, the story is told of Greg and his family going on a short vacation and, gulp, Carol taking over the counseling practice in Greg's absence. In Moonlighting, Greg is surprised and frustrated by Carol's creative part-time money-making to supplement her salary. The story New Trick is about Greg's patient Rick, whose disappointing partner was meant to be the star of Rick's clever comedy act. Whirlybirds finds Greg and Carol disagreeing about advice for a helicopter parent. And the final story in You Can't Be Serious is My Way. And this story is about how Greg and Carol deal with two patients, both longtime church employee ladies who can't stand each other.
Those really sound like they could be funny and real-world situations. Could you read a couple of excerpts from your short stories in You Can't Be Serious, just for our listeners?
Yes, thank you. I'd be happy to. This first excerpt tees up what happens in the short story, The Message. This excerpt starts with Dr. Greg Chambers, Greg, and his friend, a retired psychologist, Dr. Harry Newman, chatting at the coffee shop before meeting a pastor who needs some help. I twisted to face Harry. Back to the case at hand, Harry. He'll be here any minute. I'm paying you half the fee, remember? My friend snickered and raised the cup to his lips, draining the last drops of coffee. Yeah, must be a tough one, given how tight you are with $1. Here's the story, Harry. Reverend Warren Fillmore is the client. Warren? That old windbag? What's his problem? Harry frowned. Well, those second thoughts I had about bringing Harry into this case coagulated into third and fourth thoughts. I met with Reverend Fillmore for an hour yesterday and 2 the day before. Now it's Saturday morning and he still can't come up with a sermon topic for tomorrow's services at his church. Well, that's because he's 143 years old and he's covered all the subjects a person could preach about. And he needs 2 psychologists to tell him that? My friend clicked his tongue on the roof of his mouth. He just needs to repeat one of those 10,000 sermons he's already done. Look, here he comes. I want you to help brainstorm out-of-the-box topics. I've already bounced hundreds of ideas off him. And Harry, yeah, try to be civil.
That must be really hard for Harry. Okay, so is anyone left standing after this counseling session? Listeners will just have to read the story, I guess.
Right you are. Please do, listeners.
Well, Jim, how about one more excerpt from You Can't Be Serious?
Okay. This last one is from the short story entitled Something Blue. As the excerpt starts, Greg and Carol Kramer, Greg's licensed therapy assistant, have been exchanging some quick ideas about getting some new curtains in the office's waiting room. Carol smirked. Greg, tell me again what color that fabric is? I raised my eyebrows. You heard me. Blue. Crack. Carol's clap reverberated through the waiting room. Exactly, blue. It's blue. Just blue. Only blue. Blue. Blue as the ocean. Blue as the sky. Blue as a policeman's uniform. Blue as Taylor Swift's eyes. I wasn't getting something. Wrinkles of exasperation bled onto Carol's forehead. Don't you understand? Men see blue, plain blue, whereas we women see swaths of azure, wisps of aqua, bands of cobalt, royal blue, Carolina blue, Eton blue, blue-gray. Come on, Carol. Men aren't insensitive to detail. I just didn't know you wanted that distinction. It's natural you didn't, boss man. You guys have to be told there are color differences. And 90% of you don't even recognize them then, she chuckled. But we women, yes, we women are designed to sense such nuances. Our tastes are naturally sublime. That's the word, ain't it? Sublime and nuances. And no, I don't buy that for a minute. Men can draw those contrasts. Oh yeah? Care to make a little wager? Unless you know you'll lose, which you will. She rubbed her hands together like a veteran prospector at a gold rush camp. Loser buys lunch at Jenny's Cafe. I didn't like to bet, even on a sure thing, but Carol was long overdue for a comeuppance. How would this work? She shuffled to the bunker, her office, moved the sliding glass panel a few inches, and seized the appointment book. Let's see. We have 8 patients today. 4 women and 4 men. How about that? An equal number. You and I'll meet each patient and ask him or her to describe the color of the fabric on the chairs. The gender that uses the greatest number of different words to describe the color will be the winner. I take the female gender, and you're stuck with the hairy ape gender. Carol handed me the book. I scanned the patients' names. Agreed, except with one provision. What's that? There's a label on that fabric which states its exact shade. Carol moved to a wingback and folded the fabric over. Yeah, Elizabethan Majesty. Okay, so I propose that if any patient walks in and names the exact shade, then that trumps the number of descriptive words and that gender wins. Carol contorted her fleshy face into a smarty smirk. Under normal circumstances, I'd cry foul, but since I'm so sure I'm right about the superiority of females, I'll go along with your desperate move.
I love it. I think I know who wins, but I won't give the ending away, Jim. Where can people find You Can't Be Serious? And do you have a website and newsletter?
You Can't Be Serious is at Amazon Books. You can search for that title or on my author name, which is actually James Yarbrough, and Yarbrough is spelled Yarbrough. The book is available in paperback, Kindle, and audio versions. I've actually written 6 volumes of short stories, and those other collections of short stories, as well as my other fiction books, are available on Amazon too. I encourage listeners to go to my website, jamesYarbroughAuthor.com, for more information about my writing and me, and to sign up for my free newsletter there too.
Well, thank you, Jim, for a very enjoyable interview. It really had me laughing. Once again, our time has flown by, so we must say goodbye from deep in the heart of Texas. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us as much as we enjoyed having you. Join us for our next podcast when we interview, me. I'll be discussing my suspense novella, A Texas Christmas Mystery. I'm Ann Green with Jim Yarbrough saying so long for now and read a good book to keep those brain cells active. We hope you'll choose one of our remarkable books from We've Got Books. See you next time. Remember, keep exploring the world through reading.